Hello everyone, I am Preet, a final year engineering student and a developer by heart. I want to thank you all for being here, and today I'll be showcasing my project AnyAPI Creator. So let's get started. Let me share my screen first. So from the very beginning, I have always had this itch to build something impactful that could make people's life easy and which was actually useful. But in today's age, where AI is taken over everything, great ideas are hard to come by because when you have an idea, you may find that either it is already being implemented or it's just being one click away from being done by AI. So, when doing a simple assignment, I wanted to get some data from a site and I realized it had no public APIs. My only option left was scraping. And that's when I realized how tedious it is to scrape data. You have to inspect elements, you have to find out the IDs of the buttons you want to fill your info in, you have to tell it how much to wait, you have to tell it where to extract the data from. And that's when I realized why couldn't we let AI do the job for us? Why couldn't we let AI scrape for us? And that was the motivation behind any API creator. Any API creator is a tool that lets you convert your task in natural languaging into an API. And how it does it, it uses AI to scrape your data and passes you the extracted data back in form of an API. It is meant for coders and non-coders who want to just work on their small project or their small task without delving into such tedious codes of scraping. It is meant for people who just want data, who want to explore for their portfolio projects, personal projects, or some assignments they are working for, but either they do not want to do scraping or there is no public API or the API is paid. So that's is my current vision behind any API creator. Now, without wasting any more time, let me delve you into the infrastructure of how any API creator works. This is the whole infrastructure of how any API creator works. After this is done, we will be delving into the demo of any API creator. So it all starts with a post request. You can either send a post request to the specified endpoint in the docs, or I have also created a Python package that you can use in order to send a post request. The parameters that you pass along with the post request are the task. The task is the thing that you want to be scraped or is the whole task that you want to get done and you want the data back from. The next is your free Gemini API key. This is the API key or the AI that my tool will be using in order for you to scrape your data. I have specifically chosen Gemini API key for now because I do not want the users to pay for it. Gemini API key is something that refreshes every day and you do not have to worry about how many tokens browser use will be consuming in order to scrape your data. And the last is an optional parameter called use cache. What use cache does is it is integrated keeping in mind that the user who uses this API in code may not want to do it manually over and over once they have the data. So what use cache does is it caches your data for the next 1 hour so that you do not have to waste another 30 to 45 seconds again and again getting the same data that you got from the first try. After you send a request, the request is sent to the server and the server then initiates a browser use instance. Now, let me first tell you what browser use is. Browser use is a Y Combinator accepted library that lets AI do certain specific tasks for you on browsers. Now, how browser use works in my site is it uses AI to think of the necessary steps required to achieve the task that you gave via the post request. Then it uses Playwright to initiate an anonymous browser instance. AI inspect elements of sites it come across. It uses Playwright to do the task and then each step is formulated by itself. AI thinks how many tasks, mini tasks I need to achieve in order to do the whole task that has been given to me. And then browser use uses AI and a combination of playwright to achieve all of those tasks sequentially. And then the last step is always to extract the data when the task has been done. Once the data has been extracted, we use something called regex to extract the JSON response. Now, after extracting the response, there are two things that is happening. Data is sent back to the user as a response to the post request, and the stats to the request along with a unique slug to access it anytime has been added to the dashboard of the site. Meaning that whatever request that you have sent has also been cached for the next hour and also been saved forever for you to use it anytime. And there is a unique slug for each request that has been provided to you. Now, if the use cache is true, which is by default true if you do not tell it, apart from saving the saved data to PostgreSQL, it is cached for the next hour as I told you so. So this is the very basic working of the AnyAPI Creator. Now let me show you how to start using AnyAPI Creator. So when you come into the website, you sign in, you go to the dashboard, you click on generate API key here, but as I already have my API key here, it won't provide me another. API key is unique to each user, and after getting the API key, you either use the package that I created and you can learn to use it from the docs that has been provided into my site, or you can just use Postman, pass in these parameters like the task. For example, right now the task is to go to the site and give me the brand and price name for the first 5 wireless headphones. The next is the AnyAPI key, that is the API key provided by my website. And the next is the Gemini key that you can get from the Google AI Studios. This is the API endpoint that has been specified by the website in order to send a request. Now, let us click on send and wait for the magic to happen and the site to scrape the data for us. In the meanwhile, let me show you what happens in the background via this video and how the data has been scraped. So as soon as someone sends a scraping request, in the background what happens is a server instance has been initiated that goes on to the site that you have specified, and all of the elements that are present on the website has been inspected by the AI in real time, and then AI thinks of the task in short simple steps to achieve the task that you have given. For example, as I told it to give me wireless earphone, it is searching on Amazon for the wireless earphones. Then it is searching for the search button. And here is the command line in which, as you can see, everything has been into very small, simple steps and then saved into memory. For example, you can see here that success. I successfully navigated to Amazon.com. And this is really cool. Your AI has a whole thought process into completing your task. It first evaluates whether whether the mini steps that it has been trying to solve has been successful or not. It saves it into his memory and then it thinks of the next step. For example, you can look here. The next goal is to search for the wireless earphones on Amazon.com. And this whole process goes on until it thinks that the extraction process has been fully completed. As you can see in the background, it is searching for the earphones that I told it to. And after getting the data back, the anonymized browser session closes on its own and gives us our data back. As you can see, the data we have is back here. The task was to go to Amazon.in and give me the brand name and price for the first four wireless headphones. As you can see, the data that we got back was wireless earphones, and along with that, the brand, the name, and the price of the first four results that it thought it should get back. Now, if you wanted, you can get a unique slug with each request. That when you sent a request to, there seems to be some issue, but let me show you. Okay, so here we are back into the dashboard, and as soon as you click on the actions button, it can just send a request on its own, and you can get back the data that you search for. For example, recently we searched for the first four wireless earphones, and this is the data that we got back that has been saved using this very specific slug. This is the ID for you to get your data back anytime. This is not cached, this is saved in the permanent database for now. This is, as you can see, the task was to go to Amazon.in and give me the brand and price name for the first four wireless headphones. And the data we got back is the following. So the site currently is not perfect yet. Sometimes when AI fails, it could give you a result back like your JSON block was not found because the site is not perfect yet, because we are not able to fully control the AI that we are using it. Sometimes it can get hallucinations, but 7 out of 10 times you are able to get your data back. And as soon as you get your data back, the data is saved into your dashboard request. You can have a look at it anytime. You can access it anytime. And for the next hour, it is cached so that when you send a request to the Scrape API endpoint again for the next 1 hour, in 3 seconds, you will get back the saved data. That is all from my side on AnyAPI Creator. This is intended for very small uses yet because it uses browser use, which is not fully optimized for using for very big tasks right now. But for small tasks, it is very efficient, and it is for people who just want to explore on the data and not want to delve into web scraping a lot. It's just to save you time from the very tedious web scraping codes that you will be writing. But in the meantime, you just want data to explore and work upon in your personal time and in your personal projects. So that is all from my side on AnyAPI Creator. And in a few days, I'll be making the repo for AnyAPI Creator public. If any of you really want to help me grow it further, if you see a potential in it like me, I really will be very helpful for you in contributing to the repo with me. So that's all from my side. Thank you, everyone.